Remember when handheld consoles weren't just oversized paperweights for mobile ports? Yeah, me too. Back when the PSP was strutting around like it owned the damn world, it quietly built one of the best RPG libraries ever. Like, actually ever. So today, we're diving into 10 RPGs that made the PSP a beast in your pocket. Games so good, you'll wonder why Sony never bragged about them louder. Buckle up, this list might just ruin your productivity for the week. Let's begin with The Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky, the game that casually kickstarted one of the most ridiculously ambitious RPG sagas ever made. And yeah, it all started right here on the PSP. While the PC version may be smoother today, this little gem on Sony's first handheld was the gateway drug for a whole generation of JRPG nerds, including me. This is where I first met Estelle and Joshua, and let me tell you, I wasn't ready. This game doesn't just throw you into some generic save the world nonsense. Nah. It takes its sweet time building characters, relationships, and a political mess so dense it could have been written by a fantasy-obsessed diplomat on espresso. And the craziest part? Every single arc across the Legend of Heroes timeline connects. It's like the MCU, but with way better writing and no multiverse to clean up their mess. Now here's something that really makes Trails in the Sky special: the Orbment system. Think of it as a mix between a magic system and a DIY bomb factory. You slap these little quartz things into slots and boom, you customize your entire spell list. Want to focus on healing, massive fire damage, or defensive buffs? It's all about how you build your character's orbiment lines. And there's real strategy here too, as some slots are locked, others are open, and the order of quartz affects what arts you unlock. It's deep, satisfying, and perfect for anyone who likes to spend way too much time tinkering with builds instead of actually progressing the story. Just saying. Next up, we've got Final Fantasy IV Complete Collection. And let me tell you right now, this is the chef's kiss version of Final Fantasy IV. I know. This game's been milked more than Skyrim. It's got a PS1 port, a GBA version, a full-blown 3D remake on the DS, a mobile edition, and even a shiny pixel remaster in 2023. But none, and I mean none, hit quite like the PSP version. It's got that gorgeous 2D art fully redrawn in widescreen 16:9, and everything looks so polished it's like the sprites were blessed by the pixel gods themselves. It's stunning, charming, and packed with extras that make it more than just another rerun of Cecil's emo journey through the moon. But here's where it gets really juicy. This isn't just a prettier version of the same old game. The Complete Collection lives up to its name. It includes the original Final Fantasy IV, the Interlude, a short story that bridges the gap to the sequel, and the After Years, which follows the next generation of heroes. That's a full trilogy experience on one portable system. And let's be real, the After Years might not be everyone's cup of Phoenix Down, but having it bundled here just completes the circle. On top of the story content, this version also refined some of the gameplay mechanics. The active time battle system was retuned to be smoother, and the difficulty curve feels just right. Not too brutal like the DS version, but not as baby mode as the GBA one either. And let's not ignore the slick animated cutscenes that help sell the drama without diving into uncanny valley territory. Oh, and one last thing. This version added a super handy quick save system, which is a lifesaver if you're playing on the go or rage quitting during one of those classic surprise boss ambushes. It's one of the rare remasters that doesn't just coast on nostalgia, it earns its place as the definitive way to relive this classic. Monster Hunter Freedom Unite wasn't just a game on the PSP, it was the PSP. This thing turned Sony's little handheld into a social hub in Japan before party chat was even a concept. You had entire crowds in Tokyo, heads buried in screens, hunting oversized lizards like their rent depended on it. It sold so ridiculously well that Nintendo freaked out and locked Monster Hunter into a 3DS exclusive deal just to stop the bleeding. And honestly, Who could blame them? For a while, it felt like the PSP was legally required to come bundled with Freedom Unite. It was the definition of a system seller, the kind of game that made you text 3 friends and say, "Yo, bring your charger. We're not leaving this couch tonight." But what really set Freedom Unite apart, though, was how deep it went with its progression systems. It wasn't just about grabbing a bigger sword and smacking a wyvern harder. Every hunt felt like prepping for a boss fight in a Dark Souls game, except you were also crafting your own armor out of monster parts. The game had over 500 hours of content, hundreds of quests, and a brutal difficulty curve that didn't just slap you. It respected you enough to let you fail repeatedly until you got good. Mastering monster patterns, managing stamina, timing attacks, dodging at the right frame. It was all there. And let's not forget the feline comrades, little cats that followed you around and helped in fights, which, honestly, was peak gaming long before Stray showed up with its cyberpunk cat vibes. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII was the very first game I touched on the PSP. And honestly, what an absurdly good pick to start with. It hit me like a truck full of Buster swords and emotions. I straight up fell in love with this game before I even finished the opening cutscene. It's a prequel to Final Fantasy VII, but don't let the word prequel fool you. It's not some lazy backstory filler. This thing dives deep into the tragic tale of Zack Fair, the guy who basically walked so Cloud could mope. It shows you a Sephiroth before he went full psycho. Gives you key moments that shape the entire Final Fantasy VII universe. And yeah, it makes that ending hurt every single time. It's beautiful, it's dramatic, it's got angst for days, and for many fans, including me, this one carved its place in the Final Fantasy VII legacy with a giant steel sword. What makes Crisis Core stand out isn't just the feels, it's the combat. Instead of traditional turn-based battles, the game throws you into a real-time action system that mixes flashy swordplay with materia-based magic. And here's where things get weird and wonderful. The digital mind wave. Sounds like a knockoff casino machine, but it's actually a slot reel mechanic that affects your stats, summons, and limit breaks mid-fight. It's random, chaotic, and somehow it works. The unpredictability keeps every encounter exciting, and it adds a weird charm to the flow of combat. Plus, you've got missions that are perfect for short bursts on the go, making it a killer match for the portable PSP format. Even if you've played the Reunion Remaster, the original still holds up as one of the most iconic PSP experiences ever made. Hey, quick time out! If you're vibing with the content so far, smash that like button. It takes less than half a second and makes a big difference. And drop a comment too. What's the one PSP RPG you regret never playing? Or just leave a emoji if your backlog is already out of control. Comments are seriously the best way to support the channel. They help the algorithm recommend this to more awesome folks, and I read and reply to every single one. And hey, if you're not subscribed yet, don't be that mysterious NPC who vanishes after one dialogue box. Hit that sub button and stick around. There's way more RPG gold coming your way. Next up is Gene Dark, that tactical RPG you've never played but absolutely should've. This gem was cooked up by Level 5 in collaboration with Sony, and, shocker, they just kind of forgot it existed. Classic Sony move. But don't let that fool you. Jeanne d'Arc is one of the PSP's hidden treasures. A slick tactical RPG with a surprisingly grounded story based on the real-life Joan of Arc. Except here, she's wrapped in a fantasy setting full of magic, monsters, and anime drama. What really makes this one shine is how it balances that serious, historical edge with over-the-top fantasy flair. It's got weight, but it never feels boring. And mechanically, it's tight, with a smooth, turn-based combat, smart unit progression, and just enough challenge to keep you from sleepwalking through battles. If you're into games like Final Fantasy Tactics, this one's gonna feel like discovering a lost sibling. Except this sibling has a flaming sword and divine voices in her head. One of the coolest systems in Jane Dark is the divine armament mechanic. Instead of just picking up stronger weapons as you go, characters actually unlock and evolve their sacred gear through spiritual affinity and battlefield performance. That means the better you use your units, positioning them well, chaining kills, protecting allies, the more powerful their divine weapons become. Plus, the game uses a morale system that shifts based on how well your troops are doing, which directly affects combat effectiveness. It's tactical RPG design done right, and honestly, it deserved way more love than it got. Tales of Eternia is what happens when a great game gets hit with a bad case of identity theft. Back on the PlayStation 1, it was awkwardly renamed Tales of Destiny 2 in the West, because apparently, Namco thought slapping a familiar title on it would boost sales. Spoiler, it only confused the hell out of everyone. Years later, they finally fixed the mess with the PSP version, giving it the proper name Tales of Eternia, and polishing it into what fans now see as the definitive edition. This one flies way under the radar. Even hardcore Tales fans sometimes forget it exists, but they really shouldn't. It's got that classic 2D charm, a fun cast, and a story that mixes sci-fi and fantasy in a way that somehow works. What really sets Tales of Eternia apart, though, is its linear motion battle system, an early version of the real-time action combat the series is known for. Instead of selecting attacks from menus, you control one character directly, executing combos in real time while your party fights alongside you using AI commands. You can jump, dash, chain special attacks, and even interrupt enemy spells if you're fast enough. It's simple on the surface, but with just enough depth to reward skillful timing and positioning. Plus, the cooking system is back, letting you whip up stat-boosting meals between battles, because nothing says epic adventure like a good rice ball. Seriously, if you skipped this one, you missed out on a portable RPG gem that deserved way more love. Now, let's continue with a certified legend, Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions. Yeah, it started life on the PlayStation 1, but the PSP version is basically that kid who went off to college and came back smarter, better looking, and somehow more dramatic. War of the Lions doesn't just polish the original, it elevates it. We're talking new cutscenes so stylish they feel like they were storyboarded by a drama queen with a flair for the cinematic. They added voice acting, widescreen support, and even threw in guest characters like Balthier from Final Fantasy XII because why not? Oh, and yes, Cloud is still here because Square Enix knows we're all suckers for nostalgia bait. It's the definitive version of one of the greatest tactical RPGs ever made. Period. But what really sets this version apart is the revamped job system. An absurdly deep and flexible progression mechanic that turns character customization into a full-blown obsession. You want a black mage who can also cast healing spells and throw down with a sword? Done. Want to turn a squire into a samurai ninja monk hybrid who can teleport across the map and unleash meteor-level spells? You absolute maniac, go for it. The job system in War of the Lions encourages experimentation and rewards it with one of the most addictive gameplay loops ever slapped onto a grid. And let's not forget the brutal difficulty. This game doesn't hold your hand. It breaks your fingers, teaches you to count tiles, and then maybe lets you win if you stop trying to tank with your chemist. If you've never played it, fix that. If you have, play it again. Now let's talk about Persona 2, the weird kid in class who never says much, but low-key has the most interesting stories. It's not just a game, it's two. Yeah, Persona 2 is actually a duology. Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. Both dropped originally on the PS1, but the PSP gave Innocent Sin a fresh coat of paint in 2011, higher resolution, better interface, and smoother gameplay. Sadly, Eternal Punishment didn't get an official PSP release outside Japan, because Atlus likes to break hearts. But the fan translation is out there now, and it's honestly great. So if you've got even a little patience and a soft spot for darker stories, You owe it to yourself to dive into this rabbit hole. It's easily one of the best narratives in the whole Persona franchise. Wild themes, messed up characters, and choices that actually hit hard. Seriously, it's criminal how overlooked this duo is. Under the hood, Persona 2 runs on a combat system that feels like it was made by people who wanted you to think before mashing buttons. It uses a turn-based setup where positioning actually matters. Enemies and allies can hit multiple targets depending on where they're placed, which adds a strategic layer you won't find in more recent entries. But the real star here? The contact system. Instead of just fighting every shadow in sight, you can talk to them. Yeah, talk, flatter, bribe, scare them. Each demon has its own personality and reactions, and getting the right response can earn you spell cards. These cards are used to create personas through fusion, which gives you a crazy amount of freedom to customize your team. Is the kind of game that sneaks up on you, kicks the door down, and suddenly you're 20 hours deep and humming the battle theme in the shower. It was my very first taste of the Is series, and man, what a way to start. The internet back then wouldn't shut up about how great this game was, especially on PSP forums, so of course I had to check it out. And yeah, they were right. It's fast, it's flashy, it's fun as hell. Even though there's a slicker version on PC today, the PSP version still holds its ground and then some. Whether you've got a PSP, a PS Vita, or you're borrowing it through emulation, this is one of those titles that just feels right on the go. And if you've never played a single Is game before, doesn't matter. You can jump straight into 7, and it won't miss a beat. One of the coolest things about this game is its party-based combat system, which was brand new to the series at the time. Instead of just controlling at all like in the earlier games, you get a full squad, and you can swap between characters on the fly mid-battle. Each character has their own weapon type, slash, strike, or pierce, which actually matters depending on the enemy you're facing. Plus, special skills charge up as you fight, and when the SP gauge is full, you can unleash flashy finishers that look awesome and hit like a truck. Combine that with buttery smooth controls and the kind of soundtrack that makes even random mob fights feel epic. And yeah, it's no wonder this game made me a fan for life. Next up is Disgaea 2 Dark Hero Days. And let me tell you, this version right here is peak portable chaos. Originally born on the PS2, this tactical RPG got a slick makeover for the PSP, and honestly, it feels like this is the version it was always meant to be. Disgaea games are already unhinged in the best way possible, and playing them on a handheld just hits different. It's perfect for short bursts of strategy on the go. Whether you're on the train, the couch, or hiding from responsibilities, this is the Disgaea 2 you want to get your hands on. It's fast, it's funny, and it's stacked with content that makes most full-priced games look lazy. What makes Dark Hero Days extra spicy is the inclusion of the Axel mode, which wasn't in the original PS2 release. This bonus campaign follows Axel, the washed-up, spotlight-hungry dark hero who's somehow even more dramatic than the main cast, and that's saying a lot. You also get additional characters, more post-game content, and even the ability to create custom characters from more classes than your brain has RAM for. And if you've never played a Disgaea game before, just know this: the level cap is 9,999. Yes, that's not a typo. Combine that with insane combo systems, damage numbers that go into the billions, and maps that let you lift, throw, and chain reactions like a mad scientist, and you've got one of the most addictive grind fests in gaming history. It's like chess, but with demons, explosions, and way more yelling. And now I want to hear from you. Which one of these PSP RPGs deserves a full remake the most? I read and reply to every comment, so don't hold back. If you had fun, hit that like button and subscribe for more RPG gems coming your way.